Then it came time for Doomsday. And so the first thing that Kevin Feige did was he introduced Joe and Anthony Russo. So the Russo brothers came out on stage and they talked about, the 4 previous films they have done with Marvel. So excited to be back in this world, blah, blah. And then the Russo brothers said, and we knew when we brought Dr. Doom, which they call the greatest Marvel villain of all time, like even greater than Thanos and all that kind of stuff, which is not a stretch of a thing to say. They said, we knew there was only one guy to play it. And there's a reason he's playing it. And they introduced Robert Downey Jr. And instead of coming on stage like everybody else, he pulled his old Comic-Con entrance where the cameras went down the aisle and Robert Downey Jr. came dancing down the aisle. Pleased to meet you.
It's a sympathy for the devil. Yeah, it was great.
And he comes dancing down the aisle and comes up on stage and he's like, hey, everybody. And, talks about coming back to be in Doomsday and all that kind of stuff. And it was great. And then Robert Downey Jr. did something really cool. Because earlier, the execs at Disney called Kevin Feige the architect of the MCU. So Robert Downey Jr. goes, and if Kevin's the architect and Joe and Anthony Russo are the interior designers, then the heart, the kitchen island of the home is Captain America's Chris Evans. And Chris Evans comes out on stage and they continue their Civil War thing where as if they're beefing with each other. I don't like him. I don't like your guy and whatever. And Kevin Feige steps in between them to keep them apart and all that kind of stuff. So it was cute. It was really good. Put on a good show. It was great seeing those two guys on stage. Because I've said forever, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are the heart and the soul of the MCU. And I think one of the things that has hurt the MCU over the last few years is that they were never able to transition away from them. And I'm sure the passing of Chadwick Boseman had something to do with that.
Yeah.
But they are the heart and the soul of the MCU. They are the MCU. And so to have them back up on stage with Kevin Feige, with Joe and Anthony Russo, it just kind of felt like coming home. It really did. And there's something, and I mean that in the best way possible. But then it was trailer time. And Robert Downey Jr. introduced it as the Doom trailer. And when he said the Doom trailer, I thought...
The trailer of Doom.
The trailer of Doom. I feared for a second we were just going to get one of those 30-second things like we got for Captain America, Thor.
Yeah.
But no. It was full trailer time. So here we go. The trailer, which, by the way, they never said whether they were going to release this online, but everybody on the live stream is saying they never released it. Now, maybe they will later tonight. Maybe they will later in the week. I'm sure it will be released online at some point. So they do the trailer, and it starts with the voice of Dr. Doom narrating. By the end of the day, we will face an impossible choice. And I've been curious as hell, what is his voice going to be like as Dr. Doom? I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me throw it over to you about the Dr. Doom voice.
Because I was curious too, because he's Latvian, and it was great. And you know what? I was trying to listen to see if I could tell. I mean, I knew it's Doom, and I know it's Robert Downey Jr., but it doesn't sound like Robert Downey Jr.
Listen. In a vacuum, if we all didn't already know Robert Downey Jr. was playing Dr. Doom, and then you watch this trailer, you would not think this is Robert Downey Jr.
No,
voice.
and what a choice. I mean, the gravitas he's got into that. I want to know, I'm sure we'll find out in interviews closer to the movie, how long it took him to come up with that. Like, did he work with the dialogue? Where did he derive that from? Like, which Eastern European country? It was perfect. And then, you see it the shot, And
we see Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
One of the very first shots of the trailer is a side profile where Dr. Doom is clearly down on his hands and knees, and it's a close-up of from a side profile of his face looking down at the ground in what looks like a desolate world of destruction. At that point, you hear his voice.
Do you think his voice was slightly augmented by the mask that he's wearing?
Could be.
Yeah,
I thought it might be slightly.
I was kind of hoping he would sound like Mike Tyson. By the end of the day, we're going to face an impossible choice. That would have been awesome if they did that. That would have been so ballsy. But they didn't have the guts to do that. But no, his voice sounds great. And then, ladies and gentlemen, if you woke up today having on your bingo card a fight between Shang-Chi and Gambit.
I cheered audibly.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It was Shang-Chi fighting Gambit, and it looked so good.
And it got a huge pop.
Huge
Yeah.
pop from the audience.
And Mystique turning into
Yelena
fighting herself.
Yelena fighting Mystique, and Mystique changing into Yelena. So you see Yelena fighting herself. We get to see a couple of shots of Cyclops doing his thing, which was really, really cool. And then, so you got the first part of the trailer that's kind of being narrated by Doctor Doom. That ultimately culminates in, I fear by the end of today, we are going to have to face an impossible choice. And we all know about incursions and what choices they're going to have to face. But then the second half of the trailer is all narrated by Thor. And he's clearly talking to whatever this new big collective group that is going to fall under the moniker of Avengers are.
Everybody.
And basically, to summarize what it is Thor says to them, it's basically this. Like, look, quit your bitching, quit your fighting amongst yourselves, because I have fought alongside beings far more powerful than everybody here, and they died fighting enemies I feared far less than this one. And that line, I have fought with beings far more powerful than anybody here, and they died fighting enemies that I feared far less. I love that.
But then he follows that up.
What was the line?
And I don't know, but he says, but I'm terrified of the villain that we're going to fight. And he basically, then you see Doom stop Stormbreaker.
Okay. So yes, then you see Thor, this battle going on between Thor and Doom, and you see Thor standing, 20 yards away from Doom, doing his classic Thor blue lightning leap into the air high with all the
thunder, out of Infinity War, when he shows up on
thunder going into, I believe it was Stormbreaker.
It was Stormbreaker.
And he brings Stormbreaker down, and Doom just holds up two fingers like this, just two fingers, and boom, Stormbreaker stops. And then Thor and Doom are like surrounded in blue lightning, and it just does this close up of Doom's eyes looking at him. And it's like, it's so good.
But they did like a montage of everybody getting ready to fight, all these close up of characters.
And I hate the thing with trailers is like I maybe always overanalyze things. And there's a line that's spoken around like Doom saying something around you have to fight or else there's going to be friends who will not make it or friends that will die, whatever the line was.
That was Thor. That was Thor saying that, I think.
And it's he's saying it over Namor and Black Panther and that group like fighting something. And I'm like, I hate that they put the line over that group because then I automatically attach like, are they the ones who are going to die because they're the ones fighting in this part of the trailer?
But great shot of Namor on his throne.
Yeah.
There's a great shot of Namor on his throne.
Yeah.
It's,
brand new costume that's badass.
He looks so good.
Looks great. And then they cut to a shot that we see from one of the trailers before where, the Fantastic Four and the Wakandans come and meet. And you see that they're standing in the ocean, but the ocean is being held back. And that's when Ben Grimm and M'Baku shake hands. But you see in this one, the ocean is being held back. So clearly Namor is there, right, doing his thing. So that was really cool. Some good shots. No dialogue, unfortunately, but some good shots of Professor X and Magneto. So that looks pretty good.
There's one shot of a reverse shot that we haven't seen before of Professor X looking out the window.
Yeah.
And there's the incursion, and we know what happens that's from the very beginning of the movie. And I love seeing that full shot.
And a number of shots of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man's in a number of the shots. So Paul Rudd, it looks like he's going to be playing more of a primary role than maybe he has before in this, but we saw a good shot of him and his daughter.
Are you going to touch on the last shot?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, well, I'm freaking out.
The best moment of the whole trailer.
Where Thor sees somebody for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I forgot about this.
That's how the trailer ends.
The trailer ends with Thor looking like ready to leap into action and tense, walking down a hallway. And then the camera cuts.
Well, he says, how can this be?
How can this be? Yeah. And then the camera cuts behind whoever Thor is talking to, looking down the hall at Thor. So you see Thor from behind this other figure, and you just hear the voice saying, "Hey, buddy." And he's like, and then it goes back, and Thor holds up Mjolnir, and then you see you see a hand just open up, and Mjolnir flies into the other hand, and the camera pans up, and it's Steve Rogers, and now like who just summoned Mjolnir to his hand.
With an awesome beard. He looked
yeah,
good.
an awesome
with long
beard.
hair.
Yeah.
An awesome
Amazing.
Infinity War kind of beard, and it's like, oh, and that was the last shot of the trailer. What are some other shots from the trailer that maybe we haven't talked about?
One question: was that in like an Eternal? In that one shot where it was just like kind of gray and dusty, and it was so fast.
Yeah, I don't think it was
an.
I don't think it was an Eternal.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't put it by them.
No.
You said it was fast, so I didn't
Yeah.
notice it. They showed us the trailer twice. They showed it twice, and I didn't notice it. But are there any other shots that I'm?
It was so fast.
Yeah.
You know,
There
there
was
was
a lot of Fantastic Four. The
Yeah,
Fantastic
oh, yeah,
Four
actually,
meeting was
Sue Storm, like about to go to town on somebody.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
a
where there's
great shot.
A close up of Sue Storm, and she's like, "Rah!" And she got her hands out, like, "Rah!" and just like she's unleashing on somebody or something.
And then there's a gathering in the desert with like M'Baku and
Yeah,
Thing.
that was from the old trailer, from the first
but
trailer.
they had that
in the
big
ocean.
wide shot that we'd
Yep,
never seen before.
where you see the
Yeah.
ocean being held back. I'm trying to think of what else. Like there was so many little battle clips too.
I mean, it's really a teaser.
Well, it's a first.
Yeah,
Trailer. It's a first trailer. Like here's just a little taste.
It's
I
a
feel like
meal of a teaser, as you would
Yeah,
say.
it is a meal of
It's
a
like,
teaser.
don't be fooled. This isn't some 45-second clip. This is a trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure they'll get into incursions and stuff like that whenever we get a
Thunderbolts are
second
in
trailer.
it. People are asking, where are my Thunderbolts?
Oh yeah,
They're totally in
yeah.
it.
You see the Thunderbolts. There's a good shot of the Avengers Tower with
Oh,
a
yeah.
brand new big Avengers A on it, and Thor. That's where Thor is giving his speech to this collection of whoever the new Avengers are.
Which was a really cool shot. There's
Yeah,
like
because you
tactical
got-
things on the walls, and
You got Sam's
Sam.
Avengers and you've got the Thunderbolt Avengers
Yeah,
all
that's right.
in there that he's talking to all of them. Yeah, so there was that again. The great shot of Avengers Tower, which looked really
The
good.
red A looked awesome.
Yeah, it
looked
did
so
look
cool.
really good. Now look, the Dune footage is still my favorite footage of Cinemacon.
oh yeah,
Like that, the opening, the Dune stuff they showed us is still my favorite. But I think I can say for myself, this was my second favorite. Out of everything else we've seen here this week, I think seeing this trailer was my second favorite thing that I saw. It was just
I'm going to say something insane, but
somebody saying no Charles Xavier. I mentioned Xavier twice.
there's a bunch of Xavier. Actually.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Xavier. I have mentioned it several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said he was looking out the window. You know,
well,
there's
there-
that
one
reverse
scene,
shot.
then another shot with him and
No,
Magneto.
no
and-
Loki. People are asking about
Yeah,
Loki.
no Loki. And I think we'll get look, we'll you know what, we'll get some Loki in the second trailer. When they get more into the plot, when we get, because remember, traditionally with a lot of movies, the second trailer is where you start to reveal what the story is.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we'll get probably into Loki.
It does end on the date.
And that, thank you. One of the things that we knew we were going to find out for certain was whether or not Marvel was going to take advantage of Jumanji leaving the December 11th date and moving up a week to take advantage of a week's worth of IMAX screens. I know they did discuss it. I know that for a fact. But we didn't know what they had decided on, and we all said, well, I guess we'll find out on today here at Cinemacon. And they reaffirmed
Doomsday is happening.
Doomsday is still happening. They affirmed they're keeping the December 18th day. So, ladies and gentlemen, Doomsday is alive and well. December 18th is going to be a day long remembered. Some people saying surprised. Mighty Tank saying I'm surprised. I'm surprised too, to be honest. Like, I never got any indication that they were going to make the move, but I kind of thought they would.
I do. I agree. I agree with you.
But I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of happy they aren't. I want Doomsday, and we're getting it. So, again, they played the trailer, and then they came back out on stage, said a few more things, and then they played the trailer again, which is something that they've done. I mean, they've done that at Comic-Con. They've done that at Cinemacon, where they have a big trailer coming, and they decide to play it twice. So is there anything else I'm missing here?
No.
That pretty much covered it. I mean, that was everything they showed. I thought the trailer was great. I'm surprised they haven't dropped it online. You know, guys, look, I'm sure they'll drop it online soon. I don't, or maybe they won't. I don't know. I fully expected, I'll be honest with you, when we walked out of Cinemacon and walked out of the theater, I expected by the time we got back to our room, like several other trailers this week, they would have dropped the trailer online by now, but apparently, no. Some people are saying online there's a rumor they're going to release it next week. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Next week. I will say, though, I was surprised that they didn't give us a scene, especially after they gave us 17 minutes of Mandalorian. Now, I knew that they would not show us the opening of Avengers Doomsday because there are certain things that happen in the opening of Avengers Doomsday that I don't think they were prepared to let the audience know about yet. So, but I thought they would show us some scene. Like, here's a 3-minute clip from the, but they didn't. They're still playing that a little close to the vest. But I don't know. Did anybody else have any feeling about whether they were going to show a scene or not?
Yeah, I thought they would. I thought they would have shown a scene, something more. There's something character based that didn't reveal anything. Obviously, characters meeting other characters. They have plenty of those in the movie, and they could have relied on one or two. But I understand it's only April, and the movie comes out the end of December.
Yeah, as the one guy in the room that doesn't know all the behind the scenes information that you guys know, for the people that are looking forward to the trailer, like you won't be disappointed. It very much met my expectations, this whole Avengers portion of the Disney panel. The only thing is, because they showed so much Mandalorian, and then after, I expected them to show a little bit more, because the trailer ends and then they're still on stage, so we're all like, oh, and then they played it again, which was great. But anyway, everyone's going to be real psyched. You're going to be in for a treat. It was awesome.